We like to say that we do everything but sell travel. We are not travel agents, but we are an extension of the travel agent. And we work on their behalf. So having another set of eyes on time-sensitive, fast-paced, detailed tasks have helped agents with time management and potential errors.
Tiffany, Tami, thank you for joining me on the Modern Travel Agent podcast.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
That's my pleasure. So I guess to get us started, can you share a little bit about your background and kind of what brought you into the travel industry?
Yeah, so we are Tailored Assistant Services. So the company was established in 2016. And then Tami and I joined the company as assistants in 2018. And we facilitated several accounts and survived COVID. And then after that, we decided the company came up for sale. And so we decided, well, let's give it a whirl. We love the company. We love the business. We love travel and travel agents and helping small businesses. So we bought the company and been running it since January of 2022.
Nice. And what was that like, just out of curiosity, going through the madness of COVID? I know that hit everybody sort of differently. What was that like being on the on your side of it?
Well, we only service travel agents, so it hurt real bad.
Yeah.
So I mean, we were there to cry with you guys and cancel with you guys, but then we were ready when it ramped back up faster than anybody thought it was possible.
Yeah.
So it was definitely interesting, especially being in the virtual assistant side of it, helping the agents. And so being able, but it's been really cool coming twofold now to see like the reemerging of and the travel agents that stuck with us and are getting back on the horse and just getting their businesses like kind of restarted again almost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was definitely a challenge for agents. I know there were actually a lot of agents that got into the industry right before COVID, and that was like their introduction, which is crazy to me. But yeah, it was definitely crazy, and I think that's beneficial that y'all got to experience that on that end, because on the service side, I don't think it's going to get worse than COVID. That was probably about as bad as it gets when it comes to servicing bookings, cancellations, refunds, like trying to manage changes and all of that. I know that that's a lot of agents were feeling it. And so, I was hoping maybe you could share a little bit about like the services that you provide and kind of the problems that you're solving on that service end.
Well, yeah, we complete several different type of tasks for travel agents. Like Tiffany said, we're travel industry exclusive. So we do tasks such as itinerary completion, commission reporting, reconciliation, quotes, proposals, back-end administrative support such as like special projects or CRM maintenance. Concierge service and support has been a huge need. Especially since we got back from COVID, just includes reconfirming existing reservations with airlines. As we know, airlines is a big one. So we'll check with the airline and make sure everything's good up to the time of travel. We'll reconfirm existing reservations with hotels and transfer suppliers. We also do research and make reservations for just anything, dinner reservations, spa services, destination excursions. We like to say that we do everything but sell travel. We are not travel agents, but we are an extension of the travel agent. And we work on their behalf. So having another set of eyes on time-sensitive, fast-paced, detailed tasks have helped agents with time management and potential errors, especially after COVID. Like Tiffany said, we just basically woke up one day and it was so busy. So just having a lot of people being able to check in correct some of these errors, help with, some of the airline situations that we've been having. So, yeah.
Yeah, there have definitely been some airline situations. It's been madness on that end. What would you say is, I know that y'all work with a bunch of different agents, and I'm sure that those agents maybe specialize in kind of different areas, and they're not all in the same, let's say, niche or category. And like big picture, like what do you think is the most common value add as far as the service? Like, do most agents need help in the area of putting together quotes? Is it like the accounting aspect? Like, what would you say if you had to pick like one or two of like the most common areas where your agents are devoting their time and really helping agents? What would you say those areas are?
Definitely itinerary planning and building, doing Access or Travelify or whatever platform they're using. Like I said, concierge is turning into a huge part of our business. We have some agents that really we are just doing concierge services for them. So, I think it would be those two are our biggest.
Okay.
But we do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, right. And then I know one of the things that I've noticed since I've been in the industry is for a lot of agents, it's especially agency owners, it's very difficult for them to kind of give up some control.
Right.
They've maybe been, a one man or one woman show for a long time, or they've been doing things a certain way. They like things done a certain way. And it's difficult for them sometimes to even hire or to outsource and stuff to make their business more efficient. But of course, I'm sure that's the main part of your business. You understand the importance that when you take that off their plate, it frees them up to focus on building their business and growing.
Exactly.
I was wondering, how do you make that easier for agents to do that, to like let go, to bring y'all in so that y'all can help them?
Well, one of the things that we like to do is what we call coaching. We coach the agents with their workflow. And this has been a great tool in helping agents find areas that need to be delegated to their assistant so that they can be freed up to sell travel and grow their business. We have them actually write down their workflow and then go back to that workflow and highlight the items that they do not need to do personally, that they can delegate to an assistant. During this exercise, we find that many of our clients will find additional items that they were not even thinking of as their work or part of their workflow. So that has been exciting to see. And that's when we'll delegate things to the assistant. And that's when the assistant and that agent will start building that trust, and they offer more and more, like they see where we're an extension of them. And so it's just really a neat way to watch them. Sometimes it's just a slow process. It's just, we'll take care of the itineraries, or we'll call a few hotels for you. And then when they see that they can let go and trust us, we feel that building a relationship based on the communication and attention to their needs as an agent helps facilitate a level of trust in that whole delegation process. That's where it comes in. It's just showing that we can do this for you, and we can do it your way, and we'll make sure it's right. And so
that's awesome. And I think that's so smart to have them outline their process. I have an episode where I talk about the importance of that, because sometimes until you put it down on paper, you don't really think about every single step in your process and what you're doing and how to improve it, how to be more efficient. And sometimes just getting it out of your head, and you can just look at it and say, okay, this obviously isn't the best way to do things. There's some ways to improve this or streamline that process. So I think that's great. What does that look like typically? Let's say, is that like something that y'all do on a phone call? Like, how do y'all run that program? Is it something where it's like a back and forth to?
It's kind of like a back and forth. Tiffany takes care of the discovery call, the first discovery call, and then I take care of the actual workflow call. And so I think it's talked about in both of those meetings. A lot of times, by the time I get the agent, they have already done that homework assignment from Tiffany.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So when I have the discovery call, I tell them, they're like, where do I even start? They're just staring at this mound of tasks. They don't even know where to start. And so I give them that workflow homework assignment. And I'll say, if you've got a lot of highlighter on your page, then you're in the right place.
Yeah.
And so they bring that to the workflow call, and it really is a great starting point to say, okay, I have this, this, and this highlighted. Can I give this to you? How can we facilitate that? And that really helps just kind of start. It's a good starting place.
Yeah. That's awesome. And I know that, when agents or agency owners are thinking about, maybe stepping into that process, I know one of the questions that they're going to have is about your team, right? Your assistants. Obviously, the industry is all about relationships. It's all about the people.
Yeah.
So I was hoping that maybe you could share a little bit about, sort of your assistants, your team, a little bit about, their process, their training, just to help agents kind of better understand who they'd be working with.
Yeah. So our hiring process is what I call unconventional. And that's because we do not hire travel agents. We don't hire anyone who's worked in travel agency. We don't work with anyone who has any IATA credentials. Basically, they're green. So they come to us. And the reason we like that is because we take the business of the travel agent very seriously. And we protect their business model with the utmost importance. So we feel that not hiring anyone within the travel industry has been a great way for us to build that relationship, that trust relationship, while working inside of our clients' portfolios, especially in a virtual environment. So our applicants come from, a lot of ours is referrals from our internal team. So that's what we love. And then after the interview and hiring process, we provide an extensive 90-day training university that is facilitated by our 2 training managers. It involves itinerary training on different itinerary platforms such as Access and Travefy. And the new assistants will spend 1 entire week just on itinerary training, getting itineraries, getting travel documents, looking at supplier documents. What do those look like? And start putting, they actually put itineraries together and are reviewed and corrected, or show them tips and tricks of getting a great picture on there. So then in the second week, that's involving CRM overviews and concierge services training. And then by the beginning of the third week, we are already assigning our assistants with agents, and they start working task requests. And that's when that workflow happens. And that happens for the assistant, the agent, and myself. We're all in on that call. And during that meeting is when I get insight on what additional training that the assistant will need, because we just do an overview of the CRM. Because we all know there's lots of features on lots of platforms, and we might get an agent that just does the basics, or we might get an agent that does everything. So that gives us time to train and get into the nitty-gritty of that CRM. And then we'll work with the assistants for the 90 days, and all of their task requests will be reviewed by the training manager before they're sent back to the agent, so that we know that it's correct. And then we also get some feedback from the agent on what they like, do's and don'ts, what they want added, and eventually pull all that information in together to create SOP within our internal team, so that it assures that that agent's work will be done, and we have an SOP for anyone on our team can pick up and help out. So
that's awesome. Well, I like that. It's interesting that you said that you don't hire inside of the industry, because I know that, your approach is more intentional about that, for the reasons that you mentioned, as far as protecting your clients and the agents, and, avoiding any, let's say, potential conflicts of interest.
Right.
On our end, we have not traditionally hired people from the industry, not on purpose. It just it happens that way. But there is a huge benefit to that, in that you're not dealing with any bad habits. You know what I mean? Like, you're able to.
That's true.
You're able to truly shape through the training process about how they approach every single individual problem. And that kind of gives you this unique option to qualify them and make sure that they're ready for the exact tasks done in the way that, let's say, it should be done. Mm-hmm. So I think that's super interesting. And I like too that, you have sort of multiple touch points in your process to ensure that there's overview, there's like oversight, I guess I should say, that, that they're able to check the work, because that's one thing, of course, in this industry is it requires a lot of attention to detail, like a
Yes,
ton,
it does.
and you need to constantly be looking over things. So I think that that's also super smart. Out of curiosity, this is just kind of a personal question. I was wondering, how do y'all approach the system? I mean, I know that y'all said that y'all, before y'all owned the company, that y'all worked inside of it. How much of it was in place? How much of y'all added? I'm always super interested in how entrepreneurs, business owners build systems for the company, because that's such an important part. I'd just love to hear a little bit about y'all's experience in doing that.
Well, I think that Tiffany and I have really just kind of broken down the actual business. And because we come from the assistant side of things, we're able to see what that agent, if you were an agent, what would you be looking for? And I think that's where we start building our systems in place. I wouldn't, if I was an agent, I wouldn't want everybody, knowing my business model or having access to my client list. So we put a lot of importance, a lot of security. We have our assistants sign a confidentiality contract. We just want protection. And we don't have the luxury of having an office where someone can come in and sit down at our desk and look at us. So that's a lot of trust to say, hey, I see you on a Zoom call. Let's go for it.
Right.
So we want to just have everything and like the other set of eyes looking on everything. It could be simple as there's a missing transfer, and we get busy and that one little step is missed, and then that's not fun in a couple of weeks after they've been while they're traveling.
Yeah, and I think the business structure is the same but different from when we bought it, because we're running it post-pandemic. So there's a lot of different processes we've put in place and had the growth to have to, grow. Like, when we bought the company, we only had one training manager. Now we have two training managers. We actually have our own assistant now that doesn't even have agents, because we, so the structure of the company continues to grow and evolve as we grow, but as also the demand for travel has just been so different since the purchase as well.
Yeah, it's a different, that's one thing about the travel industry that's great and also sometimes frustrating, is that it's always different, it's always changing, and I know that, inside of the industry, not just with individual agencies that are constantly changing and offering new services or packages or destinations, but just individual agents are focusing on different areas. And there isn't a single thing that an agency, let's say, that every agency shares in what they need and the problem points. And so I was curious, how do you approach that sort of customization process? Like what type of packages do you offer these agencies, when you're dealing with, let's say 2 agencies who all that they share is that they sell travel, basically. How do you make sure that you're providing sort of these different packages and these different options? And can you share a little bit about what that looks like?
Yeah. So we really put the pricing structure with our packages so that everyone had a home. We didn't want to just cater to the large agencies or the smaller agencies. And then where are you in your business? And then where are you in travel? Because we all know certain parts of the year aren't as busy as other parts of the year. So we offer 3 different packages. We have intermittent, primary, and executive packages with bare minimums. Our intermittent only has a 1-hour monthly minimum. That's great for people who don't need an assigned assistant. They just want to have access to us. And then we have our primary package, which is just a 4-hour monthly minimum. And that's $30 an hour, and they get a assigned assistant that they work with every day. So it really works with wherever you are in your business. Then our executive plans, our lowest package is 40 hours a month, at $1,000. And they get some other, things in there with our out of office included and a 24-hour status update and things like that. But it kind of goes wherever you are in your business, there's a place for you to start with us. And that was really important when we were building out our pricing structure, that everybody had a place to live and that it was affordable for people to get help. So yeah. And then we have, if you're not looking for assistant, but you're needing a CRM built out, or you have a special project you're needing to work on, then we can do, projects, one-off projects like that as well.
Nice. And for agency owners or agents that are interested in, let's say, getting in touch with you, asking questions, whether that's for more full-time assistants, more part-time, or even, as you said, like the one-off projects, where can they contact you? Where can they reach you? What should they do to start that process? Yeah.
So the best place is the wait list. So we are hiring very rapidly. About every 2 weeks, we're trying to bring on 3 to 4 new assistants to keep up. So just going to tailoredassistantservices.com. There's a waitlist tab, I believe is what it is. They can go there, put their information in. We're probably looking at a month or so, depending on, when they get on the wait list. Because our training process is so structured and detailed, we can only hire so many people, and we won't waver on our quality of service. So, we could throw 10 people in there, but that's not going to benefit anybody. Right. So it does make the wait a little longer, but it's worth it in the end. So yeah, that's the best place to start, is just on the wait list. There is a place, I believe, on there for, if they just have questions, they can email us at Tiffany@tailoredassistantservices.com, or Tami@tailoredassistantservices.com to get, additional information. But we've got everything on our website there. And then we've got some fun things coming in 2023 that we're excited to be launching. So we're going to be having a referral program. I know it's been asked about with some of our agents for a while now. And so we finally got one of those we're going to be launching. We're going to be actually launching a host agency package. We've been doing host agencies for a little bit now, but they needed a home and they didn't have one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so that's going to be fun and interesting. And then we are going to be offering, we're in a partnership with Access to do tailored agency access training. So people can get tailored access training to learn, how and the best ways to use Access to match their agency needs.
That's fantastic. That's exciting.
Yeah.
It's a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, lots to come. So we're excited.
Well, Tiffany, Tami, I certainly appreciate y'all joining me on the podcast. I think that y'all are offering a great service that the industry needs, because we're past COVID. It's time for agents to get back to not maintaining, but scaling the business. And I think delegation is an important part of that process. So I definitely believe in what y'all are doing, and appreciate having you all on.
Thank you so much.
Chris.